What happens to the loved ones of those who awaken from the Matrix? Waking up to the real world and witnessing the grim and dark visage of the blackened sky and human harvesting fields could be a traumatizing event. To think that everyone we know is trapped in a system that controls their minds. It's that hatred for the machines that fuels the red pills to become soldiers of Zion. But what happens to the family and friends who are left trapped in the simulation? Will they remember those who have escaped? Or will the agents erase their memories? Welcome to Matrix Explained.
Welcome to the desert of the real.
One of the biggest difficulties in the Matrix is not facing the truth and exposing yourself to great danger. The real problem is going against the Matrix, knowing that your loved ones are still connected to it. If they find out that you are actively fighting to destroy the world that they knew and loved, would they defend it? Let's look at the issue from the perspective of the red pills and hopefully understand the situation better. Let's begin with the forgotten story of Eddie, a man who Morpheus thought was the one. Eddie escaped the Matrix, but left his girlfriend still connected to it. After Eddie awoke, all he could think of was her. So one day, he contacts his girlfriend and sets up a meeting. Eddie sneaks into the simulation and is caught by the agents. Note that his girlfriend still remembered Eddie, even after he left the Matrix. However, we cannot know for sure to what extent the agents had manipulated her. If they had manipulated her, there is not enough evidence to prove if those connected to the Matrix remember the red pills. Neo in Matrix Resurrections did something similar. He logged into the simulation against better judgment to save Trinity. But there are many more stories with this dynamic. The comic Morning Signess is a story of a woman who has nightmares about something that happened to her in the past. She was a red pill who entered the human harvesting fields to rescue a baby, her baby, which she had to leave behind when she disconnected from the Matrix. But she loved her child. She finds the baby's pod and rescues it. Furthermore, she may not be the child's biological mother since humans are created by the machines, but in her heart, she is the baby's mother. She went through the experience of bringing it into the world, even though it was a simulation. Another comic titled Saviors is about a red pill who tried to wake up his parents, but both of them died from the shock of seeing the real world. Another sad example of the risks a red pill is willing to take to save those they left behind. The red pills cannot forget their family and friends, and so some of them have tried to wake them up. It's understandable, which is why those like Morpheus must tell those who have awakened from the Matrix that all people connected to the simulation are potential enemies. Otherwise, they would be fixated on their loved ones who are still in the simulation.
The Matrix is a system, Neo. That system is our enemy. But when you're inside, you look around, what do you see? Businessmen, teachers, lawyers, carpenters. The very minds of the people we are trying to save. But until we do, these people are still a part of that system, and that makes them our enemy.
The Man Who Knew Too Much is another comic about a man whose friend, named Jeff, had escaped the Matrix. The man wondered what happened to his friend. Jeff just disappeared one day. Later, the agents found the man and questioned him about Jeff. This story shows that the red pill's friends and family are interrogated after they escape from the Matrix. In Neo's case, we know that he didn't have that many friends or a big family. He was a loner, which made him a perfect red pill. Those people still connected to the Matrix, who remember their loved ones who became red pills, are very problematic for the machines, hence why they are immediately labeled as most wanted criminals. Within the simulation, the red pills are considered members of terrorist groups working to destroy the governments of the world. It's not like the red pills try to disprove the allegations. The way they dress and the way they act doesn't make them that subtle. So the people in the simulation are made to believe that Morpheus and people like him are the most dangerous criminals in the world, and no one, not family or friends or acquaintances, are to make contact with them. Doing so would brand them as accomplices. Accomplices will be found, detained, interrogated, and arrested if proven if they have had any contact with the criminals. The harsh treatment is really to bait the red pills to try and save their loved ones. In Matrix Resurrections, a new form of public manipulation is introduced, made to control those who remember their relatives that turn into red pills. Antonafloxacin, the blue pill that Thomas Anderson is tricked into taking in Matrix 4, was created by the machines to keep the people's memories suppressed. In the analyst's new matrix, relatives or friends who come into contact with red pills may be found and referred to see social workers or therapists. The psychiatrist will then give them untonafloxacin so they would forget the red pills. It's much better resource management to manipulate the human's memories than to dispose of them if they come into contact with the red pills. Like many other aspects of the matrix, the relationships of the red pills and their loved ones can be interpreted in various ways. It's a plot element, an important part of the Matrix's lore and development of the red pill characters, but it can be interpreted in a more philosophical level, which is perhaps what the creators of the franchise wanted to convey. After awakening from the simulation, the consequences are enormous, and it is not necessary to be connected to the Matrix to experience them. In a highly systematic society, just merely considering going against the grain will label you a traitor to said society. You become ostracized, a cross-bearer, with those who used to be your friends throwing stones at you. Keeping up with the religious similes, people born into religious organizations have their lives centered on these doctrines of faith, and all their friends, family, and acquaintances are part of this religious system. The person who manages to escape will be deemed a heretic. It's easier to label a non-believer a heretic than it is to explain to others why they are a heretic. It's the same thing with politics. You cannot question the actions of your political leaders. It doesn't matter if you are a firm believer in what your party claims to stand for. If you do, you will immediately be labeled as being part of the opposite party. And herein lies perhaps the most lamentable fact. If you try to free someone else from an erroneous ideology, they may turn against you to defend the system. They will smear your image, belittle you, insult you, and break all ties with you. They will pretend like they never knew you. Some may even try to physically harm you and those closest to you. They will go after your social circle and strong-arm them into stopping them from having any relations with you. When Morpheus tells a Neo that anyone can be an agent, he is referring to this. Those who will defend the Matrix, no matter what.
You have to understand, most of these people are not ready to be unplugged. And many of them are so inured, so hopelessly dependent on the system, that they will fight to protect it.
If you are not one of us, you are one of them.
We see this kind of human mistreatment all the time on social media. You, me, those who fight against any system of oppression, we all run the risk of getting cancelled for our beliefs. In Matrix Resurrections, the agents could be spouses or children, and here lies the most disturbing thing of all. Maybe the system doesn't make the social circles of those who become red pills forget them. The possible truth is that family and friends still remember, but they don't want freedom. They want the Matrix. But do you agree? Do you think that those who are imprisoned by the Matrix are the first ones who will leap to its defense? For Matrix Explained, please leave a like and subscribe. And thank you for visiting the Desert of the Real.